Okay, so let's look at some exercises for the drawback movement. So what you're going to do now, first we'll do it as though you have a partner, and then we'll do it as if you don't, is you're going to do, starting off with strength structure, and then we'll evolve it into an actual like fighting technique. So the first thing I want you to get a feeling for is the difference between your muscular system and your structural system while doing this, because this can become quite a powerful movement when done correctly. So if Carson puts some pressure on me, so he's holding still, he's trying to stop me from drawing back, right? And firstly, okay, I put my stance on, I stay nice and upright. I start to draw back, but I draw back using my muscular system. Now what I feel is like my chest activating, I feel my balance going forward, I feel my bicep, I feel different muscles activating in my system. Now, as Wing Chun practitioners, we don't want to be using force. We want to be using structure as a baseline, mind and energy as the ultimate, right? So here what I'll do is I'll center myself, feel my structure, and I want to feel as though my shoulder joint turns and my elbow joint closes to perform the movement, as opposed to pulling force, yeah? I don't want to just pull with my muscular system. So what I do is I center, I sense my structure, and I think of my shoulder, I let my shoulder joint turn and the wrist and the elbow joint collapse to bring him in towards me. Now keep your other hand up for guard, because you don't want to be pulling people in towards you so they headbutt you or hit you. And once again, this is just, you're developing a skill here of using your structural system. This isn't so much aimed at the fighting side, it's the skill for fighting, right? So this is the exercise. Strength a couple of times, feel what muscles activate, and then center yourself, feel your structure, and let the shoulder joint turn to drive the movement. Mainly think about the shoulder, but the elbow also has to hinge as well. So that's the first exercise you can do with it. So as Carlson does it, just so you can see how he does it here. Firstly, he uses his muscular system as I hold pressure, and he feels where it activates. Like he feels what tenses, he feels what it feels like in his body to use the muscular system. Then he centers himself, he lets the muscles relax, and he thinks of, and he uses joint rotation. So this turns to do the movement. Okay? So that turns, and he feels how that feels. So it goes again. Yeah, and simple as that. That's just to get you a good feeling for it, okay? Once you've done that a few times and you know what the feeling should be like, then you can start to play around with a bit more of an application, so to speak. Generally speaking, in combat, when someone grabs you, you don't really want to be pulling them in towards you, because the danger of this is that as I pull him in, he might use that momentum to come in and headbutt me, come in and strike me with the pull that I'm using, or even turn this around to hit me with it. So generally there's a bit of a risk with it. However, if you're safe with it, if you put the right countermeasures in place, you'll be fine. So what that means is, let's say he's grabbed me, or let's say I've grabbed him, either way, because it's a similar movement, you want to make sure your hand's up for guard. And as you draw your hand back, the elbow should be coming back to the side. So I'm not pulling him back straight in towards me. It's kind of like I'm pulling him across my center. The other hand should be up, yeah? The other hand should be up to guard. So just in case he does redirect that pressure towards me. So let's just say he does come at me as I pull in, at least I've got something here to protect, right? Now, as you do the drawback movement, you're going to also palm strike, yeah? Now you can do that from you holding their wrist, or you can do that from him holding yours. So maybe Carl's holding me, I can draw back and strike as well, yeah? So regardless of them holding you or you holding them, you still do the same movement. This hand comes back and the other hand comes forward. Now, real self-defense situation, meaning life or death, not just because someone got the last sausage roll at the canteen. You can be going for throat strikes, yeah? Throat strikes, eyes, if you've got the opportunity, palm strike to the ear, real life or death, you know? But if you're just with a training partner or just a friend, or then just keep it gentle, yeah? So I draw back, palm, simultaneously. You can get them to give varying levels of pressure. You can hold tighter if you want to, so that you have to do it under a bit more duress. Center, sense, shoulder joint turns, draw back, palm. Now things to think about, if you look at the movement in the center, I'm keeping everything as centered as possible. I'm not opening myself up, okay? So it's a simple one you can do. One more time from Carlson. I'm holding, he has his guard up to protect, he draws back and uses the palm, okay? Simple, draw back and palm. It's real simple and easy one you can do. Now, once again, if you don't have a partner, you're just going to have to get to shadow boxing. You could potentially use this to do the drawback motion, but of course, like a wall or some type of configuration. However, you know, generally speaking, a dummy would be good if you had a dummy. If it's on the slide, routes is going to move, so you can put it. That would work if you have a dummy, because it moves. Otherwise, you can just do it on a stationary object. Or back to your imaginary partner again. Draw back and hit. Draw back and hit. Draw back and hit. Yeah. They grab your arm, bang, draw back and hit. They grab your arm, draw back and hit. Yeah. So you can practice that in shadow Wing Chun fashion as well. Okay, see you in the next video.